You don't even like sports.
Welcome to You Don't Even Like Sports, a podcast about sports, for people who don't like sports. With your hosts, Adam Todd Brown, and Jeff May.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yes.
I need to tell you something.
Yeah, what's that?
It's that you don't even like sports.
Oh, you motherfucker. You know that's not true. You know that's not true.
But I just said it on a podcast.
Yeah, but that most of the things you say aren't true on podcasts. But, and I will put this out there because it is important for everybody to know, is that you actually don't even like sports.
I know you don't. That's what I just said. You don't even like sports.
Adam Todd Brown doesn't even like sports.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to You Don't Even Like Sports.
The sports podcast for people who don't like sports.
Like Jeff.
That's not true. You son of a bitch.
I got it in again. Got it in
son
first.
Of a bitch.
I'm Adam Todd Brown, and that is Jeff May.
It is. It sure is. It sure is.
And we are back to finish up our telling of Diego Maradona's time in Italy.
Remember?
Part 2, which is how they say it in Italy also.
Yeah. And I got to be honest, part 1, there's a lot of information.
A lot of information, and there were some crazy stories. There was cocaine in the Pope's bathroom, and somehow the stories get crazier.
Coke in the Pope's room.
There is a really wild story about what happened back in Naples after Maradona decides to take some time away to win the World Cup for Argentina. That is, I think, really indicative of what kind of life he was living in Italy.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, because in the World Cup, like, he was like the MVP, right?
He was the MVP, and as the MVP, you get a trophy called the Golden Ball, which is the World Cup MVP award. And wanting to keep that safe, he decides to put it in a bank vault, along with a watch collection, some cash, lots of valuables.
Safe. A safe area.
It was actually a vault that was deemed impenetrable. No way could anyone get in this unless you just drive a fucking truck into it, because that's what someone did. They drove a truck into this bank vault and took Diego Maradona's watches, money, and his golden ball.
That's a solid gamble, because I feel like I'd be afraid that I would die if I drive a truck through into a wall. I don't know if people know this, but usually driving a truck through a wall or into a wall, it doesn't always end well.
Especially not one that's fortified with, you would think, steel or something.
Steel bars, yeah.
Do you think they lied? Do you think it was just like mortarboard and cement?
I feel like Italy is such an old area that they're just like, it's a leftover from fucking Caesar or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think that's what you want a bank to be. Like, make it a museum or something.
And again, to further illustrate what his life was like in Italy, instead of going to the police, I mean, I'm sure the police showed up and investigated it, but instead of Maradona going to the police and saying, how are we going to figure this out? He just went straight to the Camorra and was like, hey, assuming you didn't do it, can you maybe find my shit out there on the market and get it back for me? And they did. They were able to track the shit down.
It's your buddies.
They got most of his possessions back, including his watches, because this other crime family just didn't want a war with the Camorra. So they were like, yeah, I guess we got to do it. But the gold ball, Jeff, had already been melted down into gold bars, which I get it, but that seems like it would make it easier to sell. That's for sure.
Yeah, it devalues it, but it also makes it much easier to fence.
Right. But it's got to devalue it so much.
It's still gold.
Yeah, but you're in Naples. Maradona is so huge. There's got to be some rich criminal or businessman who'd be like, fuck yeah, I'll take Maradona's gold ball. You crazy?
Yeah, but then if people ever see it, you can't show it to anybody.
You could show it to people if they're cool.
I mean, yeah, but that's sort of like art heists.
Yeah.
When you're just like, all right, well, you got it, but what are you going to do with it? Like, put it on your super yacht because you're a sultan? Like,
flip it on eBay?
Yeah, not a lot of people are going to, that's a hard fence, but just gold bars, it's fucking easier to fence. Even though aren't gold bars legally stamped with information or something like that?
Probably. But I'm sure if you even have the capability of melting down gold into bars, you probably acquired a stamp at some point, I would think. So that happens shortly after he wins that World Cup. I think there was actually some space in between winning that World Cup and that robbery happening, like a span of a couple years. But
the space between,
right?
That's what Dave Matthews wrote that song about.
Oh, that's why I didn't recognize the song. It's Dave Matthews.
Well, I didn't sing it like him either.
Yeah, you did. You sounded exactly like Dave.
I wasn't
Matthews.
going to try. I was like, I know better. Space between our wicked lies and where we hope to keep safe from pain. How was that? Was that good?
Yeah, I did not like Dave Matthews. I don't know why I said it like he's dead now. He's still alive. Anyway.
I do. It did do. Yeah. I'd still enjoy some of his stuff.
So back in Naples, Cristiana Sinagra delivered that baby that Diego Maradona wanted her to abort. And even worse for him, she goes on national television in Italy to tell the public that she is naming her new son after his father, Diego Armando. And she also hired a lawyer to file a paternity test. And this really consumes Diego Maradona's life for a while.
I mean, yeah.
Because, again, the people in Naples were obsessed with this story because it was a very bad look.
Yeah, she looks like she looks kind of like when Lady Gaga would go incognito.
You know, I didn't even look her up.
She had a very like a thin face, very blonde, kind of like sharp features, very pretty.
Oh yeah. There she is.
She definitely has that like Lady Gaga. But when you're calling what is it, Stephanie or whatever?
Yeah, Lady Gaga at a resort.
Yeah,
she's cute. Why you got to be a dick, Diego? Jeez.
Yeah, come on, man. You knocked her up when she was 20.
And he did continue to be a dick. He still very publicly denied that the child was his. The press just followed him constantly and were always asking about it. But also he was playing really well. So
what are you going to do, man? Like,
yeah, I'm sure there was a point, at least early on, where Atlanta Falcons fans were like, yeah, the dogfighting thing's bad, but he's such a good quarterback. We can't lose him. Like that, I guarantee you there was a healthy amount of that with Diego Maradona, where people were like, yeah, that's a dick move, but we're winning so much. And that feels good too.
Does feel good.
So
and it feels great to be winning.
Yeah, and that's the thing. At this exact same time, he wins them that first Series A championship, which was such a huge... That's one of the things we're leaving out of this that I would encourage people to go look into is the way the people of Naples responded to winning that championship.
It was like when the Cubs or the Red Sox won the World Series.
But
like
for days. For days.
Yeah. Well, it is soccer.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Red Sox celebrated winning the World Series for like several years. We were like, hey, this is the thing because we used to have this personality and now we can't have it anymore. So here's the new thing.
And the Cubs went back to, we're not going to do that for another 100 years, probably.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We realized we like saying that we lose all the time.
But we will break your heart several times over the next few seasons. Being a Cubs fan is hard.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, being a Sox fan was hard. And then all of a sudden they were like, how about 4 wins in like 20 years? How about that?
Fuck off.
Okay.
So...
Bye. Just leaves.
Because this is Maradona, of course there are going to be some very colorful figures that pop up in his story. And one of them, Silvio Berlusconi.
The PM, the Prime Minister?
Yes, the disgraced former Prime Minister of Italy, Silvio Berlusconi, is involved in the Diego Maradona story because, for one thing, I just want to point out Berlusconi has so many scandals under his administration. There's a whole Wikipedia page that's just about the trials and the things he's been accused of, and it is very long.
Classic.
Several pages. Among them, there's the time a prostitute came forward and said she was paid $1,000 to participate in this is a quote, African ritual called the Bunga Bunga, end quote, in the nude with Berlusconi and 20 other young women. I bet there's nothing racist about that.
I'm going to hypothesize that that's not a real African ritual. I feel like she may have been given false information.
She may have been duped by Berlusconi.
He's a wacky prankster, that Berlusconi.
Was he
doing all sorts of racist sex pranks.
He was a real piece of shit, and he was in charge for a long time.
In Italy?
Yeah, go figure.
The Chicago of Europe? No.
But for our purposes here, we're not talking about his time as prime minister, but instead about his time as president of one of Napoli's most hated rivals, AC Milan.
This comes, to put it into sports references, this would be like when the Tampa Bay Devil Rays would consider like the Yankees or the Red Sox a rival. And you're just like, yeah, like we're not that invested in this rivalry. So fine. Okay, we're your rival. Yeah,
when Kawhi Leonard came to the Clippers, they asked LeBron James about it really early on, about the rivalry. And he was like, we're not rivals. What are you talking about? And LeBron James did go on to win the title that year.
He's like, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, big rivalry.
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. Kobe just died, right? We're not going to lose the championship this year. So Berlusconi, what's fun about this is Napoli and AC Milan meet in this match. They've barely ever beat AC Milan, a few times, but the two teams, they meet in this match late in the season. And there's huge implications for that year's title. And Berlusconi was rightfully so afraid that Napoli's fan base would try to sabotage his team in some way, like when John Starks jizzed on Michael Jordan's pizza, or however that happened, and then the flu game ensued.
That's how you get in a Beastie Boys song.
Yes, they did mention John Starks in a song, didn't they?
Yeah, and Get It Together.
Yeah. So before the game happened, Berlusconi did several things. One, he refused to come to town until the night before the match.
I would like to add that he did several correct things.
Yes, because Napoli fans, case in point, when the team was just, I think it's a different match, but at one point a team is pulling into town and a bunch of Napoli fans just surround them on Vespas, like those QAnon fucks surrounding Joe Biden's tour bus. Remember that?
I was like, Jack on the brakes.
Yeah, that would have been funny. But yeah, their fans were crazy. They're soccer fans, and they're especially hungry for a win. So he did the right thing by shielding his team from that. He also brought a separate plane that was filled with nothing but food and drinks, so they didn't get poisoned. They didn't eat anything in town. They didn't drink anything in town.
I'm trying to think of what 80s food they brought, you know? They were just like, they were eating nothing but Kudos bars and O'Boise's.
Probably. And a whole lot of liquor. He also brought his own staff and barred hotel employees from accessing the floor that they rented.
Again, this is all the right stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's all very correct.
Because those fans were crazy. And that made the fact that Napoli lost that game a bitter pill. But also, in an uncharacteristic display of good sportsmanship, Jeff, the Napoli fans gave AC Milan a standing ovation at the end of the match because their performance was just that dominant.
I think they gave them the standing ovation for their defense in not getting poisoned.
Probably.
They were just like, you know what, we gotta give it up to you. Yeah, that was. Yeah, we had so many plans, and your defense was just on point.
You're all making it out of here alive? Saw that coming. Crazy.
Yeah. Standing ovation for that.
But then, as people had a little more time to reflect on the game and how it went, they started realizing that it wasn't just that Napoli lost. It was like some of the team wasn't really even trying to win.
Yeah, which was weird because I don't know if you knew this, but one of the players on that team was shoeless Giuseppe Jackson.
Yeah, that's a red flag right there. Why do you even sign that guy given his background?
Yeah, it was weird. You just saw that movie. It just came out.
Yeah. I hated Field of Dreams so much.
Pitch of Dreams.
I mean, it's a great movie about a family having collective schizophrenia, but other than that,
I liked it.
So yeah, they lose this match, and now they're realizing that it didn't look right. It looked like players weren't really trying. And so they start asking this question, did we throw this game? Like, did we lose this match on purpose?
Which you can't throw because you can't use your hands in soccer.
Right. Good point.
So,
well, if you're inbounding, Jeff, I know you wouldn't know that because you don't even like sports, but
coached soccer for 7 years.
That's not true. So these rumors turn into claims that the Camorra paid off several players to throw this game. And why would they do that?
I think we know why.
They are based in Naples. They run Naples. They love Napoli as much as anyone else, but they love money even more.
Yeah, you're going to love mucho dinero, as they say in old Naples.
And what makes this crime, which we'll get to it, it's never been proven, but it happened. What makes it so gross is Napoli was favored. They had like a 5-1 or something odds, like not huge, but if you bet on Napoli, you'd win some money. And these fans are so rabid about Napoli that despite the entire city being impoverished, basically, they place millions of dollars of bets on Napoli.
Yeah, it is weird to think of like the spread in soccer. Like you can't really cover the spread. You know, there was like the famous Boston College point shaving scandal where they were winning, but they were not winning to cover the spread. And and like I don't know if soccer doesn't really seem like the kind of sport that's going to have much of a spread.
Yeah, soccer, you just got to be like, whoa, I missed.
Yikes.
So yeah, the fans had spent all this money betting on Napoli. Napoli was favored. It should have worked out. They should have won a little money, but nope. AC Milan pulls off this upset, and now the Camorra, conveniently enough, has just made a shit ton of money off the people in Naples.
They've been known to.
And that really gets these rumors going that they maybe fixed this match. And those rumors refused to die, despite the team's insistence that they were false. Eventually, the rumors turn into accusations against 4 specific players. Goalkeeper Claudio Garella, arguably the worst possible position on the team to have throwing the match.
He's just like running around, like tripping over his own shoelaces and stuff. Whoa!
Literally the last line of defense. Defender Moreno Ferrario, midfielder Salvatore Bagni, and center forward Bruno Giordano.
That is a chink in all of the levels of armor that you have there.
And it's a pretty wild accusation until you take into account that of those 4, 3 had already been accused of fixing matches in the past. It was just never proven. So
yeah, that's one of those things where sometimes when they're like, yeah, but it was never proven. It's like, yeah, but come on. Like it's the come on defense where you're like, come on. Like we know. And
this has never been definitively proven. But years later, in 1994, the British newspaper The Independent ran an article that had a whole bunch of evidence supporting that this match was indeed fixed. It alleged that several Napoli players were on the payroll of the Camorra, and in 1988 deliberately lost the Italian League Championship to help out Camorra bookmakers in exchange for cocaine and parties with call girls. I mean, they had already won the one.
That doesn't seem like enough.
No.
To like have me throw the thing. Like, I don't think they're being like cocaine and party girls. It's like, well, they're professional soccer players at the highest level here. I don't feel like they need cocaine and party girls. Like,
but if you want Maradona levels of cocaine, like they're not making Maradona money. So they're like, I want to do that much cocaine. And the Camorra's like, we can arrange that.
I mean, this is a post-Len Bias world here. It's the famous
you're right. Yeah.
story of the Celtics #1 draft pick whose heart fucking exploded after doing a little bit of celebratory cocaine.
Boy, did that impact me for the entire rest of my life.
Yeah, that's the best thing that could have happened to Nancy Reagan.
Yes.
Is to have that just say no thing. Be like, see, this young athletic man's heart fucking exploded.
Yeah, that when I heard that I was like, when that came out that, oh yeah, sometimes people do cocaine and their heart just explodes. You never know if it's going to be you. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna roll those cocaine. Dice. Yeah.
I still really don't fuck with coke. I tried it once and it's not that good. Like it's just a stimulant. Like I could go take concern. The thing is, I actually need stimulants to focus. So in that case, when you take stimulants, you're just like, oh, I feel great. It's not it's not really an upper.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's a stabilizer.
Yeah.
Some mood stabilizing cocaine. Clown.
Wouldn't that be nice? I also don't have the nose for cocaine. My nose is a fucking circus.
Well, I have this whole thing with my septum here, so I should start doing cocaine to start wearing that out.
Yeah, that's true.
Finally breathe right.
That might help. So, yeah, they found all this evidence that this did happen, but it never really amounted to anything. No one was ever arrested or charged. But it's pretty clear that Napoli most likely threw that match in 1988. But not like Diego Maradona wasn't a part of that.
Yeah, none of them were punished directly. Like there was no official findings.
There was another weird thing that came out of that article, though. Maradona's manager, Guillermo Coppola, the one who took over from Jorge Cedarspeiler. So glad I don't have to keep saying that name the rest of these episodes.
Thank God he died a horrible death, huh?
All right. So Guillermo Coppola, who took over, he made him a bunch of money, but also after this article had a warrant issued for his arrest for allegedly ordering the murder of a nightclub owner in Buenos Aires.
That's a company guy right there.
That is, Maradona had some characters around him.
That is a record-breaking employee right there.
Yeah, but
like you don't see that kind of loyalty in other employees.
And now we hit an interesting point in Maradona's career here because he's starting to get kind of unhappy in Napoli too. And he makes it clear that he wants this to be his final season. So to smooth things out, the team president calls a meeting with Maradona at the start of the season, and he makes him this verbal promise that provided he plays one more season, he'll be released from his contract and he can go wherever he wanted. And things returned to normal enough that, against all odds, Diego leads Napoli to a UEFA Cup title over Germany that season. So even though he hated where he was and didn't want to be there, still plays well enough to win them this title. But then
you want teams to want, it's like, when you're entering free agency, you always want to have a record year.
Right. But then literally on the stage where they were given the trophy for winning the title, the team president walks up to Diego Maradona and whispers in his ear, "We're going to see that contract out, aren't we, Diego?" And just like that, Maradona's like, "Oh, cool. So you're just going to break that promise you made at the beginning of the season."
I feel like he has people that he knows that could help him out, but then those people would lose him. So I guess that changes.
Yeah. That's the thing. This promise is broken. So he's like, "Oh, well, I've been double crossed. And what I'm going to do now is get some revenge and get the fuck out of here." But reminder, the Camorra provided most of the money to sign Diego Maradona, and they were still expecting to benefit from their association with Diego Maradona. So they weren't just going to let him leave.
No.
Things took a turn for the worse in the last few weeks of that season. First, he withdrew from a game without warning, claiming he had stomach trouble, which, given the amount of cocaine he did, that could have very well been true.
That's fair.
But people assumed he was just showing support for one of his teammates who was fired as a result of that match-fixing scandal. So people didn't like that.
They assumed he was doing one shitty thing while he was doing a separate shitty thing.
Yeah. And then a couple of weeks later at a home match this time, he did the exact same thing 20 minutes into the match, but this time he just pretended to have a leg injury and unconvincingly hopped off the pitch like Sammy Sosa pretending to not speak English in front of Congress. It's like, we know you're joking.
Yeah, we've seen you do this thing, Mr. Captain Cork Bat. Motherfucker got caught doing everything.
Oh, Sammy Sosa would be an interesting
Yeah, man, because he got caught fucking juicing. He got caught corking. This motherfucker. And then he turned to chalk.
Yes, that is the weirdest part. Oh, my God.
He's got a fascinating Instagram.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Check it. You got to check out his Instagram when you get a chance, or at least it was a couple years back. It was just weird Sears level portraits and stuff.
Oh, I hate that we forgot to do this last episode. Congratulations to Jose Canseco on A-Rod and Jennifer Lopez splitting. He's
the Nostradamus of hating A-Rod.
Somewhere he's just nodding approvingly.
Oh, somewhere he's tweeting like a fucking storm.
He follows me now. Does he follow you?
No, he won't do it. And I don't know if it's because I keep calling him Jose Canseco whenever I talk to him on Twitter, or if that I just because I don't have a blue check mark.
He did follow me back, but I tweeted at him and showed him a screenshot of where I had blocked A-Rod. So maybe that helped. Block A-Rod. Block Jennifer Lopez.
Well, no, he's trying to. He's talking good stuff about J-Lo.
That's a couple I want to see.
Oh, J Seiko?
J-Lo and Canseco.
Jose can J-Lo.
J-Lo. That's not good. So after this match where he walks off pretending to have a leg injury, fans get so angry, they start throwing garbage and bottles at his manager and his girlfriend both. And
that's not nice.
That is not nice. Diego did not like that. This is a quote. "They insult my family honor and can go to hell. I am ready and prepared to leave Naples right here and now."
Fair.
Very fair.
If the fans ever did that to like my partner, I'd be like, oh, y'all can fuck right off. I'm never playing for you again.
Yeah, 100%. And he had a TV show in Naples at the time. And up to this point, he just used it to like interview people. And he actually gets a TV show later where he interviews Mike Tyson. Fascinating interview. But he had a TV show at the time and he would just like talk to fans and things. But once this happens, he just uses his TV show to rant about how much he wants to leave Naples, which is so funny.
Imagine being that producer. Can we get a cut? Yeah. Hey, can you stop saying you hate everybody that's watching the show?
And he's like, no, I cannot.
I sure can't. Get me more cocaine. All right. Can we get more cocaine on the set?
And then he does a thing that he probably should not have done.
What's that?
He does two things. One, he issues this statement, a press release. "I will not report back to training for Napoli because I am convinced there is a plot against me, my wife, daughters, brothers, and parents, which places us in real danger. As a man and father, I bear the responsibility of defending the greatest treasure I possess, my family."
My cocaine. Oh, sorry. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Minus the part where he describes his family as being his greatest treasure, because he's still fucking around on them.
Oh, of course. But he would have probably been fine if the statement ended there. But what he does next is he starts going into details about the various forms of harassment he'd been subjected to, like threatening phone calls, someone vandalized his car. Like there were legitimately weird things happening. But then the one allegation that really catches people's attention, he claimed his sister's apartment was broken into, but instead of stealing stuff, the perpetrators just like rearranged furniture and moved stuff around, but didn't take anything.
That's nice.
And the reason that caught people's attention is because that was a well-known Camorra tactic. They would do that as like one final warning before they just had to murder you.
They'd give you a little like a new room.
Yeah. Basically saying we can get to you, shape up. And the thing is,
I love that that's the thing, that's the threat is just like reorganizing a room.
It is very courteous. And also, what if you walk in and you're like, oh, the feng shui in here.
Right. They're like, oh, my God, I feel the energy of the room is just so much better.
I will give you that money I owe you. This room flows.
Oh, my God. I just feel like I can now like earn more.
But I mean, it's very courteous of them. But also the people in Naples, everyone knew about this. They knew that if that happens, it's the Camorra. So what Diego Maradona essentially had just done was accuse the Camorra publicly of harassing him and trying to prevent him from transferring to a new team. And man, organized crime doesn't like that kind of shit.
No, they're like, we do enough.
And he didn't really have any proof. So when he went to the police and they knew he was involved with the Camorra, so they were like, lay down with dogs, you get fleas, dude.
Yeah. They're like, you bought your ticket. You knew what you were getting into. I say, let him crash. From the airplane.
Oh, yeah. So that said, murdering Diego Maradona would have probably brought a little heat down on the Camorra family. So they weren't going to do that. But about a week after his statement, a picture of Diego Maradona in a gold bathtub with the Giuliano brothers appeared on the front page of the Il Mattino newspaper, accompanied by a caption that said, "It is absurd to think that anyone would want to challenge the Camorra by threatening its idol." So in other words, this was the Camorra coming out and being like, no, he's one of us. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. He's una of us.
And it's the kind of thing that could not have happened in Naples without the Camorra signing off.
Oh, yeah, you would die if you published that photo without permission.
Yeah, because these photos existed for a long time, and they just magically make it to a journalist after this breaks out.
You get so much of your furniture rearranged.
But again, might be nice.
It would be really nice.
You know, I did need a couch in my bedroom. This is great.
They buy furniture for you. It's your last warning. We're going to get you an ottoman if you don't stop fucking around.
They show up and assemble the stuff for you.
some guy in like slicked hair just doing IKEA shit together, you know?
It's your last warning. Hand me that Allen wrench. So this was all intended to force Diego to stay in Napoli. And it worked. After a meeting to try and broker some peace between the two sides, it became clear that he was not just negotiating with the team. He was also negotiating with the Camorra, and they were not going to let him leave.
Yeah, that's a bit of a leap.
One of the things he was threatened with was a civil lawsuit if he broke his contract, and he did not have the money to deal with that kind of shit. So he had no choice but to return to play for this team that was basically run by an organized crime family that would kill him if he tried to leave, or would at least try to ruin his life if he tried to leave.
Yeah.
And like, imagine any American athlete playing under those conditions. Like, maybe it happened in the past at some point, but
I'm going to guess yes. I'm going to guess because most likely the mob has been involved in sports for quite some time.
The mob has been very involved in basketball, especially.
Yeah, we talked about that with the point shaving scandal.
Yeah, with Bob Cousy was one of the people that was super duper implicated in that, and probably did it, but they were just like, it's the Coos, though. Come on.
Come on. It's a guy. He's a white guy. Come on.
White guy playing basketball. Cut him a break.
Come on. There's not a lot of those anymore. Come on.
Yeah, but back then,
oh, yeah.
Quite a few, actually.
As Adam likes to put it, a lot of crisp chest passes happening.
In short shorts.
And, oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. You can see a little bit of the old bubble gum hanging out of the pockets, if you know what I mean.
Fucking nut huggers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's threatened with this lawsuit. So he has to go back and play for this team that hates him, and he hates them. He also, there's another contributing issue to his predicament. He's getting fat.
Not optimal for an athlete.
And you mentioned on the last episode that when you're entering into this free agent market where you want to impress teams to enough that they will pay you money to sign with them, you want to be on your best behavior and put your best foot forward, and showing up fat doesn't do that. So
it's not generally the preferred physique of a football player.
So it's probably kind of for the best that he had an extra season to try and figure all that shit out. And some of him getting fat, like I mentioned earlier, had to do with all the drugs he had to take to just stay on the field, because cocaine certainly doesn't make you fat.
Yeah, and
unless you stay up drinking all night to keep doing cocaine.
That's fair. Yeah.
Or if I got that wrong. You do cocaine so you can stay up and keep drinking all night. Then you're going to get fat. That's what happened to Rob Thomas. Not smooth.
Let's just forget about him.
That's such a great song. But also he just took shitty care of himself. And he was still partying and eating terribly through all this. But he was still smart and talented. His body just didn't really cooperate all the time, and that made him a little less desirable on the transfer market. So under the most insane and harrowing circumstances possible, he goes back to play another season with Napoli, except he was still Diego Maradona, so he's not just gonna go back. This might be my favorite story in this whole podcast. To get him to come back to Napoli, they end up scheduling 30 separate flights, and on all 29 of those 30 flights, the first 29, he would show up, get on the plane, and come up with some fucking complaint and be like, I'm not flying. That happened 29 fucking times.
Man.
Before he was finally like, all right, here I come.
Yeah, I'm coming. It's fine.
That is so harmful for the environment, but so funny.
That's like doing coke in the Pope's bathroom 29 times.
It sure is. So he finally gets there. He did finally go back, but he didn't have Kimura protection anymore because they had this falling out. So now the paparazzi's just free to hound him everywhere he goes. And they do. And shockingly, somehow the police come into possession of a bunch more photos of Diego Maradona with the Giuliano crime family. And so they call him in and he gets interrogated over it. And he's like, I went to a lot of parties. What do you want?
Yeah. It's like, do you not know who I am exactly? Like, that's the thing. If you were to ever see like, oh, Mickey Mantle was seen with reputed mob boss, it's like, well, yeah, he's a fucking New York Yankee. Like, they're going to find themselves in the same places. Money
it's still going to be unsettling
places.
when the police come to your door over it, though.
I don't think Mickey Mantle minded.
He was too drunk to know.
Too drunk with his forearms like Popeye. Dude was a horse.
So somehow this arrangement actually kind of worked out because he knew the only way he was going to get back in the good graces of Naples, like the people of Naples, was to play well. So he starts working out. He gets back in shape. He's playing great. Seemed like he and the team had gotten back on solid ground. And then he wasn't because he was playing so well and the team was doing so well. Now his old friends were like, oh, come back and party with us some more. We like you again. And he was like, I would love to. Thanks.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this call.
And he ends up going so far in that direction. It eventually results in him being ruled unfit to play in a game and subsequently suspended by the team. But on the bright side, he uses that time away to marry Claudia. So that was nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Finally make an honest woman of her.
Finally. Diego,
yeah.
We've been waiting.
Yeah, I forgot that he really John Lennon'd that kid he had with Christiana because at almost the exact same time, he got Claudia pregnant and was over the moon about that baby. But the one he had with the other woman, he was like, yeah, you're my Julian Lennon. What do you want?
Yeah. Jesus, man.
So when he returned to the team, his spirit for the game seemed renewed, Jeff. He was getting in shape. Relationship with the team was good. Things seemed to be on the right track.
Real curveball that marriage is what got him into shape.
Yeah, that is strange. But part of his renewed dedication to get back into playing shape had a lot to do with the fact that the 1990 World Cup was on the horizon, and conveniently, it was being held in Italy. And Diego Maradona was mostly getting back in pristine playing shape because he really, really wanted to beat Italy at the World Cup in Italy.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I like that motivation a whole lot.
Spite is a beautiful thing sometimes.
He's like, I'm going to break your hearts before I get out of this country. And I like that.
Yeah, it's a good move.
But Napoli obviously benefited because an out-of-shape Maradona was still arguably the best soccer player on earth. And when he was in shape, he was fucking unstoppable. So much so that even playing under these terrible conditions where his life is literally in danger at various points, they win another goddamn Series A championship that year.
Good for you, you spiteful little bastard.
And then the World Cup rolls around and Diego Maradona is in the best shape he's probably ever been in. Things don't start that well. They lost their first game to fucking Cameroon.
Yeah, that's a real curveball.
That's a big upset when you're the defending World Cup champions. But they turn things around with a massive upset win over Brazil, the country that is the best at soccer in general. But also, fascinating side note, it was later revealed that it was later revealed that Argentina won this game, at least in part, probably big part, to the fact that they roofied Brazil.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Because soccer, the pitch is so fucking massive. If you need a drink of water and you're by the opposing team's sideline, you can just go, hey, water, bring me some water. And the equipment guy will bring you out water.
I feel like you should be polite about it.
Yeah, you probably don't want to be a dick.
Yeah, bring me some water. Bring me some drugs water. Take that,
And
Brazilian men. How's it feel to get roofied?
This was later confirmed by the coach and by Maradona, I believe. But what they did is they put Rohypnol, which is actually roofies, that's what roofies are called, in a bunch of the water bottles and put a different colored cap on those. So if someone from the opposing team asked for water, they got roofie water. And one of these players very much contends that he was roofied during this game. He was like, I got this water, and then all of a sudden I just could not play soccer. They made me keep playing, but I could not play soccer. I couldn't see anything. I could barely move. He got fucking roofied at the World Cup.
Soccer, man.
Soccer is crazy.
It's so bananas.
Gee, like, what if he would have died?
What do you want me to do?
That can happen.
Sure.
Being roofied. What a scandal. So both Maradona and the team's equipment manager later confirmed that, yes, they gave any Brazilian player who asked for it a water bottle spiked with Rohypnol. Except it was later revealed that they referred to the drug as Goodnight Cinderella. I fucking love this so much.
It's great.
So great.
I was going to say, why would you admit that, though?
I have no idea. Like, that is a truly insane thing to admit.
It's really bananas to think about, like, just being that honest about, like, oh yeah, we did a crime. We did a big crime, like a huge crime.
Yeah, especially when you take like college sports into account where, oh shit, Reggie Bush got a free candy bar while he was at USC. So that season's wins don't matter and he never won the Heisman anymore. But like, you can admit to roofing someone, and that's soccer, man.
Yeah, the law, I feel like the laws are different in different areas, you know?
Slightly. Anyway, Argentina did not win the World Cup in 1990. They came in second, but they did beat Italy, who finished third. And fittingly enough, they won the match against Italy on a Maradona free kick. Jeff, explain what that means.
Basically, it means that at some point in time, something obstructed an opportunity for a shot to the point where, and I don't know about this specific one, but like usually a free kick is designated that somebody's about to get a shot and somebody obstructs the player instead of playing the ball. They go for the player, which means that the kick that they would have gotten is now going to be unimpeded. And this
it's the soccer version of getting fouled and shooting free throws.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. It's free kick, free throws. And this kick is good. Like it's a tricky kick that he did, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll link to it, but once again, it's just one of the most baffling things I've ever seen, because once again, it looks like not a lot happens. Like he just kind of trots up to the ball and kicks it with his left foot, and the goalie just dives 25 feet in the wrong direction. Okay.
So he's kicking it with his left foot, and generally that means that you're going to kick with your instep. So you're probably going to go to like right corner. So the goalie's thinking right corner by seeing the way he's angling. But what he does is he actually kicks it with like the sort of like the outer toes, which is going to send it low and towards the other, like the bottom left corner. So he basically just kind of like fakes the dude out, because you're taught to learn subtlety at that level, especially like the subtlety of how people are going to be kicking. And so he saw that guy coming. The goalie saw him coming in with that left foot, and he's like, oh, he's going right post. And he absolutely did not. It looks so simple, and it's a very tricky kick.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he makes this shit look so easy.
You know who won this, by the way? The whole thing?
What?
You know who won the World Cup that year? The West Germans.
Yeah, West Germany.
The last time that they existed.
Good for you, West Germany. You were the good one.
Finish it out. Yeah, they were our Germany, yeah.
Yeah, they were a good one in air quotes. So, yeah, man, I still don't like soccer, but I like watching Diego Maradona play soccer. It's pretty fucking great. And, mission sort of accomplished. He did beat Italy in the World Cup. Argentina lost the final, but still. And the people in Naples weren't super happy, because even before the World Cup, he was on this like public campaign where he was like, hey, root for me in the World Cup. I've won you all these damn championships. Why don't you root for me? And they were like, who the fuck do you think you are? We want Italy to win the World Cup.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, not going to happen.
That is fair.
So, I mean, he showed them.
They're both right. Like, I know it's like hard to say, but like, come on. Like they're both right. Like have a little love. Like at least be happy that he won.
Yeah,
you know,
or at
like,
least root for him once he hit the finals.
Yeah.
Even though he just beat your country.
You want
made
the person
your country
that beat,
look silly.
Yeah, you want the person who beat your country to win, or else that means that you got beat by the worst team.
Yeah. Could have been worse. You could have got beat by West Germany. So, yeah, that's quite possibly the last good thing that happens to Diego Maradona in Italy, because it is a hard fall from grace after this.
Yeah, it's not good. Things don't go great.
And that's what we're going to talk about on the next episode. I thought this was going to be 6 episodes, but it's looking like 7 because this one ended up being 2. So
that's so Diego.
Yeah. So we're the NFL of sports podcasts. They added a game to the season. We're adding a extra episode to the season.
You don't even like sports podcasts?
You don't even like sports. That's correct.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Jeff, do you have anything to plug before we get out of here?
I don't know if you knew this, but I actually have cool friends. And so I have a podcast called Jeff Has Cool Friends where I have them on and talk to them. You can check that out at patreon.com/Jeff May. You can really enjoy it. It's me. It's Jeff May. Can you believe I got that?
Yeah.
It's great. That hockey player never even had a chance. So that being said, you can also check out Tom and Jeff Watch Batman on the Gamefully Unemployed Patreon and all the Unpop stuff.
No, you can't.
No, I can.
No, you can't do any of that.
I can do exactly what I want.
Nope.
I'm a big, strong man.
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Adam Todd Brown. That's Todd with 1 D. Patreon.com/unpops, unpopsnetwork.supercast.tech. Go subscribe or I'll fuck you up.
Yeah. I forgot to tell my Twitter and stuff too, but it's too late.
It's way too late.
You can't find me at Hey There, Jeffro.
You can follow Jeff at Adam Todd Brown on Twitter and Instagram.
No, that's not me. That's you.
Follow at Adam Todd Brown.
No.
Because Jeff doesn't even like sports.
Jeff does like sports. You don't even like sports.
Jeff, let's get out of here. Say goodbye.
Oh, bye. Fine, bye. Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Can we go? Can we leave? Can we stop? Hello?
Goodbye, everybody. We love you.
Bye.
That was good.